फुल स्क्रीन कर लो, 3 डॉट पे क्लिक करो, वहाँ 3 डॉट दिख रहे हैं, प्रेजेंट नाउ, अरे फुल स्क्रीन का ऑप्शन होगा, फुल स्क्रीन ऊपर 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 ऊपर, फुल स्क्रीन नीचे नीचे, अरे फुल स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रहा क्या? ये क्या चीज है? एस्केप दबा के इसको,
अभी गो प्लीज, गो नाउ, गो.
Guys, we'll wait for a few more students to join and start in 5 minutes.
So what is happening, Hitesh? How much time will you take?
Good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Anshalika, and my co-host.
I, Karan, warm-heartedly welcome all freshers and college mates to the orientation session 2020-21 of the first ever Consulting Club of Dyal Singh College.
I would like to welcome our two teacher in charges, Mr. Sanjay Sir and Dr. Ruchi Gupta ma'am, for joining us today.
And also our esteemed mentors for making out time from their busy schedule to grace the occasion today.
As you now stand on the starting point of what should prove to be the most memorable experience of your academic life. I'm sure it's been a little overwhelming, while most of you would have made a college bucket list. Do remember to make this worthwhile, making a good network with your peers, your professors. For now, there's too much to learn everywhere. We at the Consulting Club can assure you endless opportunities and experiences to make your college life a journey to remember. Moving forward, I am obliged to call upon an inspiration to all of us, Lieutenant Dr. Ruchi Gupta, ma'am, who is an associate professor in the Department of Economics. She also has a rare distinction of being a lieutenant in the Indian Army, securing an overall A grade in the military training, and being chosen as the course captain during her training period. Over to you, Ruchi, ma'am.
Hi students, hi guys. This is Lieutenant Dr. Ruchi Gupta, and I'm one of the faculty advisors for this consulting club. And the purpose of this consulting club, as you would have known by now, is to bring out the strategist, the analyst in you, to develop your strategy making skills, because every business grows, becomes big only by a big idea. So the idea of this club is to tell you how to develop those ideas. Every big company, be it Facebook, every pioneer in the field, be it Facebook or Paytm or OYO, started from big idea, one big solitary idea. And the aim of this consulting club is to guide you, is to make you aware of what all goes into developing those ideas and also to materializing it. And it is because of the importance of consultants in the country that almost all big B schools, be it FMS or IIMs, have their own consulting clubs. Besides, some of the topmost recruiters of the country and the topmost players of the countries are the consultancy firms such as EY, Accenture, or Pricewaterhouse. So please do make best use of this opportunity which has been made available to you people. Come, be a part of it, and do benefit out of the 3 years of your graduation. Do not let it go waste, and make it the right move by being a part of this consulting club. So, to the answers. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening the students with your grit and determination. To congratulate all of you people who have successfully cleared the previous levels and stepped into this new world, we would like to call upon Mr. Sanjay Sir, teacher in charge of the Department of Economics, to address the young minds present here in this session. He has done his graduation from JNU and has his research interest lies in exchange market pressure. Over to you, Sanjay.
Okay, thanks, Karan. Respected guests, my dear colleague, and dear students who have taken the pains and are investing a lot of energy towards the establishment process, or toward the process of creating this club, which they give, or which they are giving the name the Consultancy Club. So I welcome you all, first of all, to this orientation program of this club, which I'm sure is going to be one of the most important chapters in the history of our Department of Economics, because I am in touch with so many students in the universities, faculty members of the university, and I find that perhaps none of the colleges, none of the departments of any of the colleges in the university are perhaps not means have not created any club like this, which tries to launch students into the art and science of consultancy. So for that, I must congratulate you all, and I must thank all the mentors who are prepared to guide our students and our faculty members and students. So what exactly is consultancy? I mean, as an academic, we all have the process of, or we all have a mindset of looking into everything, maybe with its kind of historical perspective. If I look into the past, I find that way back into history, we find a character when just the Indian history or the modern, or you can say that when the kingdom, the province, the first organized kingdom was being established in India, a name which comes to my mind is that of Chanakya, who was perhaps the first consultant, which perhaps at least India has seen in its history. So we have a root of consultancy. We have a culture wherein we have consultant being prospering in every walk of life and every part and parcel of life from day on, from that part of history. Right? So, but if you thinking from that angle, if you find that, you will see that consultancy mostly was focused towards something, means the statecraft or related to a state and consulting the kings and all that. But you look toward the modern state, you find that consultancy is towards every aspect of life these days in present context. Means in every aspect of life, we need some kind of suggestion, consultancy, some ideas, right? So it's very important that we give to the students a kind of a training away from the classroom training which we provide to the students, the textbook kind of knowledge, that what consultancy is. So I must thank to all of you that you have spared, once again, that you have spared your effort to creating creating this kind of a club. So welcome you all once over again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Well, that was no less than an enthusiastic start. Now, Gitesh would be taking over to brief you about the field of consulting and what is in for you.
Hi guys, my name is Gitesh and I'm the founder and I'll be the president for the academic session 2020 to 21. And before the mentors actually take over, I would like to brief the younger audience with what actually consulting is and what it has in for you. So I'll be just sharing my screen. Just hold on for a minute. So yeah, I think the screen would be visible now. And as the audience is on YouTube, I would like to ask a basic question that what is consulting in a layman terms according to you? So we'll be checking the YouTube for 5 minutes. And if you have any answers, we'll be checking the chat pod. Then I'll move on with my presentation. Yeah, so we have had a look at the chat box, and I'll be moving on with my presentation. So consulting is a practice of helping the organizations to improve their performance. Improving their performance basically would mean that the actual work would be a problem within a business that the client is unable to address. For example, if we take an example like your dad is a business of garment manufacturer and he wants to address an issue of profitability. So for that purpose, he'll be hiring a consultant. Second, problems related to business expertise that the client doesn't have but requires for planned tasks. For the same example, if your dad wants to expand from Delhi to Mumbai and has no clue about the Mumbai market and how it would turn out, for that purpose, he can actually hire a consultant to advise him on that. Third would be a problem targeted at improving business performance and operations. So this would be somewhere like if he wants to grow and diversify his business and he wants to look at the avenues that are possible. So for that purpose, the role of consultant sets in. Apart from that, you must be thinking, why is it considered such a sought after field? So you can imagine being a consultant if you are advising clients on that, and with a great knowledge about the industry combined with the skills, you can drastically transform a business in a quick span of time. So from turning around businesses to managing highly important functions, they offer customized solution to every problem. Moving on, the second thing would be, I think I am not unable to switch on my slides, but the next part is the basic skills that you would require for consulting. So that would be the first thing is very basic. These are the interpersonal skills that would be required for being for being good at your role at being a consultant and at your role at the consulting club. So first would be dedication and self-motivation. That's self-explanatory. Second is creativity. Third is organizational skills. And fourth is problem solving. And moving on, it comes on to communication and handling the projects. And the big companies that hire for these roles are primarily Deloitte, EY, KPMG, PwC, BCG, and other companies in the similar role. So I would like to highlight this one point that Dyal Singh is primarily a non-target college and McKinsey came in for the very first time in the previous year. The applications were around 250 something, 250 applications applying for McKinsey, and some number of students were selected and given the offer letter. So if you can just put it in the chat box as to how, as your guess, like how many students would have been received an offer from the pool of 250 students. So we'll take 2 minutes for this and you can see if you can answer this in the chat box. And Shalika, can you read out the chat box for me? And Shalika?
Three.
Yeah, what's the average? Okay, so so I'm actually seeing it and it's around 2 to 3. So yeah, actually it took 2 people out of a pool of 250 students, and you can imagine how competitive it is to get into a consulting industry. With that said, I would say that joining this club would help you in building the industry knowledge and the commercial acumen required to be more capable in your interviews and once you apply for consulting. With that, I end my presentation and I would ask Karan to carry it forward.
Thank you, Gitesh. Moving on. One of the greatest values of mentors is the ability to see ahead what others cannot see and to help them navigate a course to their destination. I am honored to introduce to you all of our official mentors for the starting session with Mr. Anuj Suneja. He is the Director of Strategy and Operations at Deloitte, India, with an experience of over 12 years in executing advisory engagements with special emphasis on M&A integrations and planning and execution, outsourcing advisory, large program management, business model transformation, cost optimization, vendor selection, and related fields of work. Unfortunately, he couldn't join us today due to unforeseen circumstances. However, we are super excited to work under his guidance in the upcoming sessions.
Moving on, I am excited to introduce to you all Mr. Abhijit Ganesh. He is a management consultant at Bain and Company's India offices with experience across e-commerce, private equity, pharmaceuticals, consumer products, and technology. He graduated with a double major in finance and marketing from Indian School of Business, Hyderabad, where he received the Torchbearer Award, that is the top 10% of the batch, and served as the president of the Consulting Club for the batch 2019. Over to you, Mr. Abhijit.
Thank you guys for having me. Just a quick check. Am I audible and am I visible on the video?
Yes, you are.
Oh, perfect. All right. So thank you guys so much for having me. It's a real honor for me. So just to just give a bit more of a background of myself. Like I graduated in engineering, worked for a couple of years in Morgan Stanley in financial planning, and then went to B school at ISB. Wherein I really started exploring consulting as a long-term career option, and like just because of my interest, I started looking at the leadership in the consulting club, and post ISB, I joined Bain and Company in its India offices. So I've been at Bain for the past 1.5 years, and it's been quite a ride. Right, so consulting has been an extremely enriching career option, just because of the sheer diversity of clients and industries that you get exposed to. Already mentioned, I've got the opportunity to work with e-commerce, private equity, pharma, technology, manufacturing, right, all within a span of 1.5 years. So that's been something like really enriching, and looking forward to more learning experiences in the coming years as well, right? Just hope I can bring my experiences from consulting, as well as work with leading a consulting club at an Indian academic institute. Hopefully this would be enriching to you guys. Like over the course of our engagement, feel free to just come to me with any questions or any help that you need with initiatives, and I'll be absolutely happy to help you guys out with that. Just like just some quick inputs on the type of consulting options that would probably be available to you in general, maybe right after undergrad or even after your postgrad or B school, right? So like Gitesh earlier mentioned, consulting is all about hiring an external agency to help you out with like absolutely anything. It could be your firm management, it could be your technical implementation, it could be something on your finances and so on, right? So based on this, you would probably have two broad set of consulting options, if I may. One is your broad generalist strategy consulting, right? So even within this, you would have your MBB, right, so which is your McKinsey, Bain, and BCG, and you also have your niche strategy firms such as LEK, Parthenon, which all have their own specific niches. For example, Parthenon just focuses on strategy for education, and you also have probably firms like Alvarez and Marshall, which just focuses on distressed asset consulting, right? So beyond strategy, generalist strategy consulting, also have specific focus firms. You have your big four, right, which is your Deloitte, PwC, KPMG, and EY. So these largely focus on transaction advisory and also on audit, while they also have their own internal strategy consulting arms as well. In addition to this, you would also have tech focused consulting, right? So all the big four and Accenture, these firms focus on tech consulting as well. So this is the broad set of career options that you would have. In addition to this, even I suppose the MBBs, they also have internal knowledge centers and capability centers, wherein you would still do like generalist strategy consulting, but it would be like supporting as a knowledge center to the global front office consulting. That's also a very good option. It's phenomenal for as a learning opportunity, and just as an opportunity before you move into B school, right? So this is the broad landscape. And why should you probably choose consulting as a career option? I feel you do get an opportunity to learn from a variety of industries, right? If you're not sure about which industry you want to go to, right? Probably consulting is a good option initially, because you just get a sense of, you can really dip your toe into a wide variety of industries and figure out what is it that you want to do, right? Rather than just randomly getting into, say, tech and figuring out in 2 years that that's not something you really enjoy, and then probably you'll be stuck in a career that you don't want to work in, right? So probably, I suppose consulting is probably the best finishing school, if I may, as an extension to what you learn in college. In addition to that, learn. You'll be like client facing, right? Your communication has to be razor sharp. If it is either written communication over email, or communicating your message on slides, or actually presenting and having a dominant presence in client meetings. This is something that you'll learn very quickly at a very steep pace in consulting, and this is a very transferable skill set, no matter which job or industry you pick later on, right? So it's definitely a very lucrative and rewarding career option that you can look forward to. Yeah, I really thank you all for showing interest in this career stream. Thanks.
Thank you for your words, Mr. Abhijit. I'm sure we could all relate to you. I now bring forth our third mentor, Miss Harshita Varshny. She is a consultant at BCG who enjoys the dynamic life consulting has to offer, working with top clients in multiple industries with a new problem and a new team for each case. In her 4+ years of BCG experience, she has learned something new every day. 12 cases across 7 industries. She graduated with a bachelor's degree in economics from the Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. Outside of work, she is a Delhi state medalist swimmer and continues her passion for sports by running and participating in marathons. Over to you, Ms. Harshita.
Thank you, Karan. Just want to check, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Perfect, thanks. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Harshita Varshny. As Karan mentioned, I'm a consultant at BCG. I'm very excited to be here today to share my experience and hope in some way it is able to help you in your journey in joining a consulting firm. I'll start with my experience of working at BCG. I was selected by BCG as an associate right after my undergraduation from IIT Kanpur. Hence, BCG was my first full-time work experience. And as a young 21-year-old, I can proudly say it was one of the best learning experiences I could have ever asked for. And I'll tell you a few reasons why I feel so, right? So, consulting can offer you diverse exposure both across industries and across functions within industries. And you'll realize that you can develop a lot of business knowledge because of this. In my 4 years of BCG, I worked on 12 cases across 7 industries, consumer goods, industrial goods, healthcare, financial services, telecom, media, energy, public sector. I think that's about 7. In your initial years, this will make you a very diverse individual with knowledge of multiple industries. And if you want to move ahead in consulting, you can specialize in a particular industry as you become a project leader or a partner. Like Abhijit mentioned, once you kind of get a diverse exposure, you also get to understand where you actually want to work in. And, as an exit opportunity, if you don't want to continue in consulting, that's like, a perfect platform to kind of, gain that understanding. Because of this diverse exposure, working on different cases, you also get to work with different people on each new case. And if you are someone who likes to meet new people, network, you will absolutely enjoy it. I will also like to say, the kind of exposure you will get directly working with CXOs of top firms is unparalleled. On one of my first few cases, and remember, I was just like a 21-year-old, I was asked to present my analysis to the CEO of a top firm. Consulting firms such as BCG show so much of confidence, even in the youngest of hires. So you'll always have complete ownership of your work, and you'll always get the opportunity to present it to the client. Very few jobs will give you this kind of exposure. And management consulting is just one of those firms. Also, I feel that management consulting is hopefully very stimulating. At the core, you will be solving the most challenging problem for clients. Now, problem solving can mean you're going to do consumer research, you can be speaking to industry experts, you can be creating models in your Excel sheets, you can be conducting workshops with a client, you can be working with vendors to, create a mobile application. So the kind of things you would be doing to solve a problem is also, just very diverse. And it's one of the best things I like about consulting, that you'll never be bored of the work you are doing. Every day will be, you'll get to learn something new, and you'll just be enhancing your skill set and growing as an individual. Now, those were just some of the things I loved about my BCG experience. If any of that gets you excited, maybe you'd want to know what a top management consulting firm would be looking for in a candidate. Well, yeah, so in the first round is resume shortlisting, and you need to typically show 3 peaks. So at an graduation level, that can be your participation and your competence in sports, whether that is an internship that you did, your leadership in extracurricular activities, your participation competence in sports, or your academic achievement, just to name a few. So once you make it to the shortlist, consulting firms conduct a lot of case interviews with candidates, and they use this case interview to actually evaluate what or how much of a successful candidate you would be if they joined your firm. So the kind of skills they're looking at is exactly the same skill set that you would need to become a successful consultant. Just to name a few, your ability to structurally break down and solve problems. So when you're given a case study, they want to see how you can split the problem into its components, ask the right questions to work your way through the case. The second is communication skills. You need to be, as a consultant, you would be the front face, interacting with top leadership of leading firms. And, you really need to be a very strong and sharp communicator. So even in these case interviews, they're trying to see how confident you are while presenting your recommendation. So, in the interview, you really need to take charge and confidently and proactively guide the interviewer through your thinking and your solution. The third thing I think they look for is proactiveness and ability to work under pressure. So consultants repeatedly need to adapt to new teams, locations, clients, problems, and constantly work towards tight deadlines. So the interview sometimes will test that by throwing surprises at you, a new data set, a new insight, or just by counter questioning you. So you need to really be flexible, have a flexible mindset, be able to demonstrate that you can work under pressure, and just navigate the case interview very confidently. I strongly believe that this consulting club will be a great platform for you to develop and hone these skills. I'm very excited to embark on this journey with you. Please feel free to get in touch with me in case you have any questions on my experience, on how you can build your profile, on what are the kind of skills you need to work on. And I think during this journey, we'll continue to build on these skills and hopefully meet you on this side of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That is a beautiful way to put things in perspective. Over to you, Karan.
I'll take over from here, and I would say that it was great. The insights were really great, Mr. Abhijit and Ms. Harshita. So we'll be opening the question Q&A pod in the YouTube broadcast. And if you have any specific or general questions for the mentors, so you can just put in there, and I'll read out from there, and I can direct it to our mentors so that they can take it up. So I think we'll take a 5 minutes window for this. So please actively put the questions on the YouTube chat box if you have any. We're having a look at the YouTube chat constantly. So Vidur Arya is asking, one needs to have a commerce background, right, or an MBA? So is it restricted to commerce, or MBA is a requirement or not? I think any one of you can take this up, Abhijit or Harshita.
So I can start. So consulting firms do hire both from an MBA background, and I was also hired from my undergraduation. So I was a BS economics students in ID Kanpur, so I didn't have an MBA. I don't have an MBA right now, and I've continued to grow in the firm. They don't require you to have an MBA, but obviously, if you don't get an opportunity to work for a consulting firm right after your undergraduation, and if you decide to do an MBA and then get in, that's also a pretty good option. But MBA is not necessary.
Just building on that, I think it really depends on which stream of consulting you're getting into. So first, let me start off with the generalist management consulting. So there are two levels that these strategy firms hire at. One is your associate or an analyst level, which is your level that you get in right after undergrad. And then there's also the associate level, which you typically get into after your B school. Both are like pretty good options. You probably get in at different levels. And for both of these options, your background really doesn't matter, right? All they care about is, they don't care what you have done. They just care whether you have done that thing well. So it doesn't matter whether you have an engineering background or an economics background or a business B school degree, right? But if you look at other specific niches, like if you're planning to get into, say, transaction advisory or audit for the Big Four, I think there definitely you would require an economics degree. That will definitely be preferred, and you would definitely have an edge in such roles. The same thing goes for tech consulting. Probably people with an engineering background probably have a superior edge over there. I hope that clarifies.
So I think the remaining questions are primarily for the recruitment process for the society and how many freshers would be selected. That will take on, Anshalika will be explaining about this, and I'll also take on this question towards the end. I'll have some questions for you, Abhijit and Harshita. So starting with Abhijit, I have this question for you that, as you mentioned, that you joined Morgan Stanley directly, and after your ISB journey, you got recruited with Bain. So if you have to distinguish between both the roles, the industries are different, but what would be the similarities or the key differences between your role at Morgan Stanley and your role at Bain and Company?
Got it. Yeah. So let me just put in a little bit of a perspective, right, on why I decided to get into respective firms at different stages. So back in undergrad, I had a deep interest in in quantitative programming and in finance, and definitely Morgan Stanley is one of the premier brands in finance, and that seemed like the logical option. Whereas after 2 years in working in the industry, I felt I needed a little bit more of a generalist background, which is why I went for a B school option. And subsequently, management consulting at one of the MBBs was a logical option right after that, right? So that was the mindset for each of the companies, right? And now just getting into what are the similarities. I think like working for a really good brand in whichever field you pick is quite helpful, right? Because from what I understand in industry, right, especially to get your foot in, brand matters a lot, right? And I think having a good brand on your resume does just that, right? And just having the Morgan Stanley brand for for my B school applications, and even like in the industry in general, it was a good thing. And even now, the same thing goes for Bain, right? It's one of the top brands in consulting. And just the fact that you're working in a good brand means the quality of the people that you work with is really good, right? You probably have the top minds in the industry working with. You'll have phenomenal mentors who have been doing this for years and decades to learn from. And the fact that you work for a global firm also opens up opportunities to learn from different cultures, right? So like even in Morgan Stanley, I was part of a cross cultural and cross border team. Learned how the other side of the world tackles their problems, figure out what is similar in problem solving across geographies. So that's broadly on the similarities. And on the dissimilarities, I think it's really stark, right? When you pick consulting versus working in an industry. So in Morgan Stanley, I was part of the same team for 3 years. It's like you have the same supervisor, you have the same say skip level supervisor, and the same kind of faces you see around daily, right? Of course, that's good in one way. You have a lot of stability. You learn a lot of you gain expertise in the same thing, right? And yeah, that's also good. But on the other side, you have consulting, wherein the teams change, the faces change, right, and your mentors change. I think that's also good in a way, because if you say if you're not comfortable working in a particular industry, or say you're not comfortable working on the particular team, it's not something that will last for a couple of years, right? It can get over in the next couple of months, and you can start with a fresh, clean slate. I think that's also a good option, right? And right at Bain, it's been a year and a half, and I've done about 12 cases now, and yeah, it's quite a good option. I've developed a wide variety of a very massive network within the firm, right? And on the flip side, even in consulting, right, if you do want to stick to a particular domain, and if you want to stick to the same supervisor just for continuity of your career, that's also an option, right? So it doesn't matter. So I've done like 4 or 5 cases for the same with the same supervisor, right? Even that's perfectly acceptable. So it's not like a hard and fast rule, but then there's obviously the function of building rapport. If the same manager tends to like working with you, then you probably end up working on the same team time and again on different projects. I hope that clarifies.
Yeah, that makes sense, and I think this would be of use to the audience. Moving on, I'll have a question for you, Harshita. So, like, if I quote you from the summary that you've given us, so you really enjoy the dynamic life that consulting has to offer, and you've worked on like 12 cases across 7 industries. So, would you mind sharing your experience working on the cases and how the cases were actually like, and what would be the approach that the consultant has to follow on these cases?
Okay, so while I touched upon this a little bit, I will just expand on it, right? So working across different industries with different teams, having a new problem, each time, is, while it's exciting, it also needs you to be like on the top of your toes all the time, right? So when you come into a new industry, you really need to spend the first couple of weeks really getting a deep understanding and being on the top of your toes, because at the end of the day, the client has been in the industry for so long, and you are pretty new, so you need to really up your game. And so we spend the first couple of weeks speaking to experts within BCG who have worked in the industry before. We would conduct a little bit of expert interviews for experts even outside BCG, trying to gain their understanding and knowledge. We speak to clients, the client team, and get up to date. So I think the first couple of weeks is really understanding the industry well. If I talk about and maybe I just like to build upon how the rest of the kind of day kind of looks like. So there's a lot of travel, because your clients are going to be in different cities, and you're going to have to work from the client office. So Monday mornings, you'd probably just take you'll wake up at 4 a.m., take like a 7 a.m. flight to the client office directly, with your luggage, go to the client office, and start your work at 9:30, 10. That's how Monday is. You'd spend time at the client office. You'd be in your team room doing analysis. At the same time, you'd be with your client counterparts, trying to understand data, etc. You'd come back to your hotel after work, and kind of complete just spend time with the team, have dinner and stuff like that. And so Monday to Thursday, we kind of work from the client office. Friday, Thursday night, we'd fly back, and Friday we'd work from our home office. So, that is how it is. And I think just by the sheer fact that BCG has, and a lot of the other top consulting firms just do have a lot of knowledge base inside the company as well. So while it is dynamic and while it is a new industry every time, I think just the support system, just the kind of people that are there, just the kind of knowledge sharing that happens will just helps you, be completely ready and with all the tools that you probably need to succeed.
Right. That makes sense. I'll have a follow-up question on this. As you mentioned that you were directly hired into BCG after your bachelor's from IIT Kanpur. So I would like to ask, like you've already built upon this, like we have case interviews and the whole process. So how was that process actually like for you? And how did you go with your interview prep and the BCG recruitment prep for that purpose?
So I think case interview prep is like the absolutely most important thing in order to kind of get through a top consulting firm. But I would also like to say that it's not just like the case interview prep. You also need to kind of spend time kind of building your resume in order to get the resume shortlist. So in my in the first 3 years of my time at IIT Kanpur, I was involved in a lot of things. So I participated. So I was in the swimming team. I was a swimming team captain. I participated in a lot of inter-IITs, won a lot of inter-IIT medals and competitions. I was also like involved in the committee for my hostel. So I used to do a lot of other things in order to kind of build my profile. And unless you do that, you will not get the shortlist. So for students who are there in the first year right now, I would really recommend that you take part in extracurricular activities, take positions of leadership in different clubs and organizations that be available at your college, and kind of build upon your your profile. But if once you get the shortlist, really need to up your game on your case interview prep, and having the right set of people in your case group is very important. So once we got the shortlist, we had like about a month to prepare. But because we were very serious about it, we had begun preparations about 3-4 months ago. So I had like a group of my peers who were equally interested in getting into consulting firms. We would kind of practice cases with each other. So if it's a group of 4, one person would become the interviewer, one person would become the interviewee, 2 people would kind of observe and take notes and kind of learn from each other, and we'd kind of switch that around. So that kind of case interview prep, I think, really did make us ready to handle the case interview at BCG. Yeah, and I think that answers the question.
Yeah, that answers the question. That's a really detailed answer. And for all the people asking that what would be there in the consulting club, I would like to make a note that the case interview prep. So once you join the club, you'll be a part of like 30 to 35 people, and you have a network and you have a peer group that you can utilize for your case interview prep once you are in the final year. That's from the insights that Harshita has given. And Abhijit, I have a similar question for you, that regarding the whole process and the recruitment into Bain. How do you think, like, being the president at the consulting club ISB, so that comes under one curricular activity and all that stuff. So the presidency at ISB, and what all other things that were really helpful throughout your process, and how can the students, what takeaways the students can have from your experience?
Sure. Right. So just building on what Harshita said, right? So literally, like, the recruitment process is very similar across firms like Bain, BCG, and McKinsey. So you would have your resume shortlisting, because the kind of competition that consulting firms typically get, probably the whole batch applies, right? And you need to have a way of just bringing down this large number into a small manageable shortlist. So this is where your resume or the piece of paper would come into play, wherein you just cram in all that you have done to just represent yourself in the best possible light. So just building on what Harshita said, one more thing, what probably the consulting firms look at more so than other industries is your academic performance. It really matters. If you look at the profile of folks who typically get in, they're typically in the top 10% of the batch, right? So at ISB, definitely the representation of, so we had a grade point average on a scale of 4, and I'd say at least 80% of the people who got in had a CGPA of more than 3.8, right? And people with slightly lesser academic performance had to compensate with a better performance on say your past work experience or your extracurriculars, right? So just not mincing words there, academics really matters for consulting. So apart from that, I'll tell you why, right? Because academics, see, consulting is it's a very tough job, right? And especially in your early years, you'll be doing a lot of data crunching, a lot of analysis, right? And we need to see whether a person is capable of undergoing that mental and academic rigor, right? And I think a strong academic performance is a good proxy for this, right? And apart from that, of course, like consulting firms tend to pick really strong standout profiles, right, with good leadership positions. I think actually when we got the Bain shortlists and we had something called a networking dinner with, which was a dinner with some of the Bain leadership, all of us got personalized letters, right, telling why we made the shortlist. And for me, it was just two things. One was, of course, like, a catch. Then it was actually also the work experience. And then they actually wrote a note about my leadership at the consulting club, right? They told it actually had made a difference, right? So I think, especially given there's a large number of people who's going to, apply to consulting firms, having very, doing something which not many people can easily do, right, is important. So just leading a large club such as a consulting club really is one of those differentiating factors. Apart from that, of course, you have, probably your case competitions. You would have, I'm not sure how prominent is it at the undergrad level, but I think that's one more thing, right? You have case competitions organized by really marquee firms like Amazon, HUL, L'Oreal, right? And these are like national level firms wherein you get to compete on a very large forum. All of this is again another differentiating factor. And then of course you have your extracurricular sports and whatnot. So all of this, I think, matters. See, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you did. What matters is you did it really, really well, and you were in the top 5% or 10%.
Great. That makes sense. And so we have a question from Tavishi Sharma that what are the basic skills that these companies look for while for a career in consulting? So I think I also touched upon this, and if both of you can summarize on that.
Harshita, you can start. I'll pick off after that.
There was some disturbance. Hitesh, could you please just repeat the question once?
Yeah. So the question is from Tavishi that what are the basic skill set that we should consider and the companies also consider while hiring a consultant? Like what does Bain, BCG and McKinsey and the other firms actually look for in candidates, the skill set?
So, I mean, I kind of touched upon this while I was speaking in my introduction, but, I will just get deeper into it. So obviously, two things. One is the way to evaluate it is through your resume and through your case study. So in your resume, definitely academic potential, because you will kind of be doing a lot of analysis, etc., like Abhijit mentioned. The other thing is also leadership skills, because at the end of the day, right, you're going to be working directly with clients. You're going to be leading. You're going to be, leading. In some cases, leading the client team. So that is important. So that is the kind of things that they can get from your resume. The other thing that they look for in the case interview is problem solving is at the crux of consulting. That's what you're going to be doing every day. So when the case interview is typically like a very small short view, and the interviewer will evaluate how well you are able to kind of break that problem into components, interact with the interviewer, ask the right questions, kind of get the right set of data points that you need to come up with a very structured and insightful answer. So the way you're able to structurally solve that problem is very important. Secondly, communication skills, definitely very important. You're going to be communicating with the client every single day. And you're going to be presenting your work to top CXOs of top firms. So communication skills, being a very confident speaker, is absolutely essential, absolutely important. If you're able to, while you're solving the case interview, if you are able to, treat the interviewer as if he or she is a client, if you're able to navigate and walk him through your thought process very confidently, have a lot of confidence in the analysis you've done, I think that would be a great thing to have. And yeah, I think these are the kind of things that they would look for in a case interview. And Abhijit, you can probably add if you feel like
sure. Yeah, just building on that, right? Like, so literally there are two filtering phases, right? One is your resume. And on the resume, again, all that we look at is you have the ability to stand out. You're not just one of the faces in the crowd, and you can take stress, right? And you can take rigor, just what your academic performance signifies. And then comes the detailed say interview phase, right? And before the interview phase, you have You normally have buddy programs and you have networking dinners with the firm management, wherein the softer aspects of of your skill set and your problem solving is evaluated. So again, in problem solving, especially the ability to have structured thinking and the ability to break a large complex problem into small manageable bits, and your ability to to communicate that very convincingly really matters, right? So let me just give an example. Like early on in my shortlisting, after I got the shortlist, I had a buddy and he had come to campus to help me prepare for cases. So he had given me a problem, right? And I solved it on one piece of paper, and this was of course like early on in my preparation, and I got the answer, right? But it was probably not in the best, in the most structured of ways. And then, just to show the difference, he solved the same thing on the other side of the paper. And I still remember the line which he said. He said he flipped and showed the page where I solved it, and then to the other side where he solved it. He told, this is the difference between getting an answer and getting a job at Bain. I'm like, wow, okay, that was quite something what he said. So literally, the ability to your structured point of thinking, right? That's essentially what is tested. That and your ability to have a logical conversation with someone senior, right, with a partner, right? So I think those are the broad two things that can help you sail through the interview, right? So don't worry about this. This might seem a little unrelatable right now, but you'll have a lot of time over your journey. You will have mentors. You will have a lot of case prep sessions, and this is something which can easily be built up over time and practice.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I'll have just this terminating question for you, Abhijit. Like
Yeah.
you mentioned that you leading the consulting club of ISB has played a significant role in the resume shortlisting and all that stuff. So from a point of view of not the leader, not the president, from the point of view of all the 100 or 200 students that you had in the club. So what were how would it be useful for them for joining the club, and how that would have resulted in some sort of benefit during the recruitments?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So the thing is, like consulting is, because it's a very sought after career option, and literally everyone around you is striving for the same thing. It's important that you leverage all the opportunities that are available to you, right? And it's important that you actually put in a lot of effort. So because of this, I think it helped to have a consulting club, right? All the alum initiatives and all the activities that would help a student nail the resume shortlist and also nail the job were done by the club. Initially, we had a bunch of bunch of knowledge sessions which would help you, like, this is what consulting is, like this is what is needed to land a job, and then all the resume resume reviews and sessions and workshops. All of this was available only to the members of the consulting club, right? And I think it really helped for the members to avail all these opportunities regularly, just to ensure that they were not short-charged, right? And then once the resume shortlists were out, all the companies coming to campus, assigning of buddies, and just having the one-on-one case prep opportunities, and also the larger case workshops. This was available only again to the consulting club members, right? So just having a very prolific club that takes care of its members and ensures that very regularly there is an event or a workshop or a one-on-one intervention to help you crack your career path. I think that's very important. And probably a student who was not part of a club, they would have been at a significant disadvantage.
Okay. So basically, the point being that being a part of the club has some sort of advantage that Abhijit has built upon, and Anshalika will be explaining the role of the club and what the club has in for you in the subsequent presentation. As of now, I would like to thank our mentors, Mr. Abhijit and Ms. Harshita, for all the insights and all the experience shared by you. I hope that would help our audience and the students as a whole. And we would look forward, we would definitely conduct sessions on resumes or specific industries for the benefit of the audience. So the students, you can also look forward to that. As of now, yeah. So
Sure.
I think, so Karan, you can move ahead with the presentation, and the mentors, if you have any prior commitments or if you would be busy with something, so you can drop off or you can stick around, whatever is convenient to you.
Thank you. It's lovely. It's lovely being here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much, guys. It's been an absolute honor.
Yeah, thank you, Abhijit. I think Karan, you can move on with the subsequent presentation.
To get game-changing results, start focusing on game-changing thoughts. But how do you build on that thought process, and how do you achieve game-changing results? If this caught your attention, this is the place for you. Now, Anshalika will be taking over to elaborate about the club and what does this club hold for you.
Thank you, Karan. I would request Gitesh to present the screen while I'm at it.
Yes, I'm sharing my screen. Just give me a moment.
Yeah.
I hope the screen is visible
Yeah.
to Shika and others.
So at the Consulting Club, we intend to work collectively as a team towards our club's prime objective of spreading a consulting culture in the college and making the students more industry aware, with sessions, insights, and competitions. And finally, providing affordable and effective consulting services to startups, for profits, and businesses, be it existing or emerging in the long run. Guys, handling real life business problems will provide you with the much needed hands on experience of field work and working with like minded people, which will help you in personality and profile building later. This is definitely a chunk of gold for your CV if you want to enter the corporate arena, as the skill set that you will acquire in the process is dynamic and parallel to the corporate requirements. Over the past few years, there's been a surge in demand for graduates from various courses by the Big Four in our college. However, the students lack the basic understanding of the industry. Eliminating this particular factor, joining in the consulting club will make you more capable and industry aware to get through the interviews and join these firms. The consulting club has a wholesome year planned out for you, which brings us to the timeline for the session 2021 and 22. Starting with regular interactive case study events, as well as CV workshops to focus on employability. And moving on to info sessions on various areas of consulting, be it strategy, finance, technology, or social impact, HR, be it anything. Moving on to consulting projects for businesses and startups that we'll be taking in the long run, where students would get practical insights and actual hands-on experience working with real business issues. Taking on commercial acumen, skill building sessions, and networking sessions, be it with the help of our mentors. And finally, moving on to the annual consulting event, which shall be a one-day inter-college event with a variety of events ranging from panel discussions and case competitions, and a lot more waiting for you. Moving on to the next slide. Now you guys are acquainted with our esteemed and competent mentors. Throughout the session, they will be guiding us through each and every step of the way. Guys, apparently, this is the first opportunity for you to be a part of the Consulting Club family, but the only and the last opportunity for you guys to be a part of the founding batch. For sure, joining the team will be one of the best personal and professional choices that you'll make in college. There are going to be plenty of avenues for you to learn, grow, and have fun while doing that. Now, I would like to hand it over to Karan to take the orientation forward. Thank you.
So, hi guys, I'm Karan. I'm going to be the vice president of the consulting club for this session. I'm also the co founder of this club. So, I'll just give a brief introduction about myself. So, I basically belong from Jamshedpur and I shifted to Noida when I had completed my 10th from Jamshedpur. So, about me, I was primarily a very shy guy who had a very tough time opening up to people. So when I shifted to Noida, trust me, I had a very tough time opening up to people and what do I say, gelling up with people. So my 11th, 12th just went off in like, what do I say, just staying in class, doing nothing, only studies, taking part in no cultural activities. So when I came to this college, I had one goal in mind that not to repeat the same mistake that I made in school. So I got into two societies And trust me, the experience has been surreal. If you knew me in the first year and if you know me now, you will see there's a stark difference between the two personalities. So, as a first year student, I wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing now. I wouldn't have been able to speak in front of you guys. I would have had probably a stage fright or something like that. But now I'm able to speak in front of you. I'm speaking without a script right now. So, yeah, this is what a society does. It gives you the confidence, it gives you the opportunity, it gives you the platform to get out of your comfort zone, do things which you are not which you haven't really done in school, because in school you know that the same 10 to 12 people who used to get opportunities every time, they only keep on getting opportunities and you stay normally in the sidelines. But this is not going to happen in college. There are a lot of societies in college. Please make it a point to join any society. No, I'm not just saying this society. Please try and join any society, and you will see the difference once you reach the second year, third year. You'll see the difference you have. What do I say? You have in yourself once you have graduated. So, building on that, I'd say the consulting club will give you the perfect opportunity to get out of your comfort zone and do things which you haven't really been doing. It will make you ready for the professional world. You will be, what do I say, consistently be in touch with working professionals. You will be solving cases. As you saw, there were two mentors present here, and there is another mentor. So they'll be guiding you all the time, and plus you'll get a lot of clarity on what kind of career you would like to focus on in future. So moving on to the informal part, what do I say? Now is not the perfect scenario for you guys to join in the college. If it had been a normal scenario, we would have had a freshers party and orientation and induction ceremony. We would have had lots of fun. We would have informal parties like Christmas party, New Year's party, whatnot. But at the same time, to not give you guys a lot of FOMO, which is fear of missing out, we try our level best to do all these stuffs virtually. We'll try to make it as interactive as possible for you guys, so that you guys get an experience, first-hand college experience, a society experience, and you guys don't feel like you guys are missing out on stuff. And your first year, although it won't be like as you had planned when you were in school, but we like to match up to that level at any time and whatever. So, guys, this is my advice. Please join a club. If not this one, try joining any other club. It will help you immensely. Trust me. So now I'd just like to hand over to Gitesh, who will be talking about his 2.5 years college experience and what you can take away from that.
Yeah. So hi guys. As Karan has also touched upon this, and whatever I had to say, Abhijit and Harshita has also touched upon this. So I'll really keep it short. Like Karan, I also joined college in 2018, which was my first year. During the initial years, I wasn't really part of any society. I applied for Enactors, Finanza, Comsoc, and everything. Subsequently, I joined a certain society that was Comsoc, and that has a subsequent or a crucial role in shaping me as a person I am today, giving the orientation and being the founder of the consulting club, and giving you all the insights. So the first thing is the importance of joining any club, as Karan has also mentioned, that it gives you all the skills, all the relevant skills, be it communication skills, like you get to anchor a lot of events, like whatever we 2 or 3 people are like Shalika and Karan are anchoring. So you get to anchor such events and you get a lot of communication skills from that. You get to network with a lot of people while you are engaged in partnerships and all. You get to network with the people, and you have a whole lot of network that you can connect with when there is some need. What's unique about this club? So as Karan mentioned, and there are various clubs in the college, various societies ranging from finance society, entrepreneurship, and actors that are doing really well, and you can definitely give it a try if that is something for you. Talking about the consulting club, as in Shalika mentioned, that what we have is we have a lot of info sessions planned in for you. and in sessions on industry awareness and building commercial acumen that would be led by our key mentors, that is Abhijit Ganesh, Harshita, Varshny, and Mr. Anuj Suneja, that was not present here. So this is a one USP of the club, that you get to grow and you get to learn, and you have a whole lot of network during your consulting prep journey, which you would pursue, I think, in the final year. Talking about that, I actually started my consulting prep back in like 6 months ago, as there was no club. And when I joined in, I always wanted to be a part of a club related to consulting. But during that time, there was no opportunity like that. Now that we have a club and we have, so Abhijit and Shalika has explained that what all is exactly in for you. To brief it up, I would say that you have a peer group who's there for you for your consulting prep journey during your pre-final and final years, and you get a whole lot of network. You get to build, you get to organize sessions, you get to partner up with these speakers, bring them in for the benefit of the team, for the benefit of the students. So that will really help you if you want to pursue consulting. Quoting Abhijit from here, that the people who were in the consulting club of ISB had some sort of competitive advantage over the ones who were not there in ISB. So ISB has a batch of like 700 to 800 people. Out of that, 200 people were there in the consulting club, which was led by Abhijit. So that really plays a competitive advantage, as you get to organize these sessions, you get to learn from these sessions, and you have a peer group for your consulting preparations. Consulting prep is basically, as Harshita talked about, it's not a interview that we would be conducting for the consulting club. It's a proper case interview. You get to have a problem and you need to tell your approach to the interview, so that we can touch up upon the subsequent sessions with the mentors and the speakers. About the club, as I've told the USP, you get a whole lot of networking. You get a family of like 30 to 35 people, ranging from peer groups from various courses. So there's a lot of diversity in this club. We are open to all the courses present in the college, whoever wants to try consulting. And you're not just restricted to your particular course or your particular section. So this is really important. You get a peer group of a diverse platform. That would really help, and you would have seniors and super seniors who have their way on the top, ranging from the various societies they have been, and all the departments that they would be working in, be it research, partnerships, marketing, social media marketing, and all that. And you'll get to learn a lot. I would suggest. Moving on. That's about my experience. I hope this really helps. And I was actually seeing some lot of questions regarding the interview process and how to be a part of the team. And if I see the questions, what all you look for. So we'll be releasing a form. The form would be in the chat box in just a while. And I think when you look at the form, you'll have some screening questions as to the name and the email IDs. There would be like 2-3 questions on your achievements, how you think you would be a right fit for the club, and how do you think the club would help you. So maybe give a thoughtful response to that particular form. About the skills, I think I have a question on my chat box, that what all are the skills that you would be looking for. So these are the basic interpersonal skills, like if you have done marketing at your college level, if you have led an event, and deadline oriented, time management. These are all the interpersonal skills that I believe all the people who are attending here, 95 to 96% of the people would have all the 7 out of 8 skills that I mentioned during my presentation. So I would suggest that you don't miss out on the opportunity. The form would be there in the YouTube chat box and will be broadcasted in your class groups as well. So fill it out, and if you think that this is something you can be a part of, we really hope to see you in the interviews, and we really hope to having you in the team, in our team. So yeah, that's it from my side. I think, Anshalika, you can take over.
Thank you. And to conclude the orientation session, on behalf of the entire Team Consulting Club, now thank our mentors, Anuj sir, Ms. Harshita, and Mr. Abhijit, our teacher in charges, Sanjay sir and Ruchi ma'am, for having the utmost faith in us and infusing us with a bit of your knowledge. Here's to an enriching experience ahead. And finally, thank you guys for joining in this session. We hope to see you in the interviews and we look forward to having you as a part of our growing team.
We are actually sticking around for like 5 minutes if you have any questions regarding the registration form. So this marks the end of the official or formal part of the orientation. And if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box and we guys will be happy to take it on. We'll stick around for 5 minutes if you have any questions. So Vanshika has a question that can't third years be part of the society? So the thing is, the in the orientation forms as well, we received like 7 to 8 registrations from the third years, and due to the time commitment that they have been involved in, like be it CA, be it MBA, be it GMAT or CAT, not much of third years are actually interested in joining the club. For them, all the insights, all the sessions, and everything we do that would be open on our Instagram pages, and subsequent links will be sent, and all the things that we share would be of relevance to you if you are planning on a consulting journey. About the teams, the work for the team would be primarily in the partnerships, getting the speaker sessions, getting the things organized for you guys for the third years and the rest of the college, be it first years or second years. So as of now, the team recruitments are not open for third years. You can always be the audience and be part of everything that we would be doing, be it quizzes, events, and all the speakers and the informative sessions. So next on, Himanshu has a question: how many active members are there in the society? So as of now, there are somewhat like 7 to 8 members, like 5, 6 from the second year that are good in whatever they are doing, and 2 members, me and Karan, from the third year. And we look forward to having more people from second year as well as the freshers. That's obvious. Next question I'm taking. So Ritik Gupta has a question that some students have already filled in the form and given the interview. So that is for the that was for the economics department freshers. I'm sure you must have attended this orientation, but you need not to fill the forms again and sit for the interviews. Web of Dooth has a question that what work we have to do in the society as a member. So guys, building on this, as I said, that the role of the club is to foster a consulting culture, help the students, be it first year, second year, third year, in their preparation for consulting and all the things that comes with it. So being a part of the society, you would be a part of various departments. So all the members we in the form. So yeah, I would like to bring this to notice. In the form, we have had a question that we have added a question that what are the areas that interest you. So that's just for the purpose of interest. What are you good at? Apart from that, all the people that will be part of this society would be working across all the departments, be it working with the mentors, be it organizing the events with the mentors, getting speakers, getting the sessions done. And in the long run, we definitely would look forward to have some companies for the consulting projects. So that's about it. Next on. So yeah, Astha Khungar has a question that can we join this group in combination with any other society? Yes, obviously, if you have some sort of multiple interest, like if you want to go for finance and you want to join the finance society, so I think there is no restriction either from the finance society, either from the consulting club, that you need to be only in one club. And there's one question specific to the form that can you explain what all are the questions in the form and what is expected. So the questions that I've explained is that there are eight basics interpersonal skills that I talked about. So you can just check mark all the skills that you think that you possess in the form. There's no limit. Then the next question would be the areas that you would be interested in. That's specific for the departments. Next question would be, why do you want to be a part of the consulting club? What motivates you? And how do you think the club would help you? So I think Abhijit also built upon this, and I also talked about it, that being a part of the club would help you immensely if you want to pursue consulting. And even if you don't want to and you just want to explore the thing, so you can definitely be a part. Next question would be that any achievement or anything that you would like to highlight. So in this question, you can talk about any problem that you might have solved in the high school level for the freshers that have been just coming out of straight out of high school. So any crucial problem that you solved and how it impacted the person on the other end. For the second years, you must be part of certain societies or some position of responsibilities in your school life. So all of you can mention some of the position of responsibilities that you think would be relevant, and all the other things that you think would be relevance in this particular question. Last question is a question to judge your frame of mind. It is what would you choose, either IQ or EQ, so that you can see what makes sense to you, or like what would you prefer. So you can so all these questions have a limit of like 50 to 100 words, and you can write anything that you think would be better for your application in the club. Earlier, I was having the question during the Abhijit's Q&A pod. So people were asking what's the recruitment process. So once you fill out the applications, I think we have sent the link on the YouTube chat. We'll send it again. And once the link is out, the deadline for this would be like 8th of December, 3 days from now. And once you start filling the form, the subsequent process will be decided on the basis of the number of registrations, and the interviews will be started from the whole process would be started on a rolling period basis. Like so like 10 to 20 people are filling form by end of the day today. So their interviews and the subsequent process would be conducted tomorrow itself. And if you're applying today, or if you're, so the more early you apply, you get some sort of advantage, as we can judge that you have some sort of clarity, you had some sort of frame of mind that you applied within a day or two. The deadline would be obviously like till 8th of December, and the interviews will be conducted before the exams. This is for the second years. You have the exams from 12th, so this would be done by 10th max. And as of the first years, the interviews will be taken. You guys don't have exams, so you need not worry about that. I'll just take like 2 minutes to see if there are any other questions. What all are the departments in TCC, the consulting club? So you'll see this question. What are the areas that you'd be interested in? So in that we have the research department. Anyone who have an inclination towards research. Second would be the partnerships thing, that like we get speakers for the sessions. We have onboarded the mentors. So these are a result of no personal contact. We have actually approached them on LinkedIn. We have talked about our perspective, what we look forward to. So that's the partnerships thing. Second would be the technical department, handling over the Instagram and the Facebook pages. If you have any experience, Photoshop, Canva, then you can check mark that. Fourth would be the content curation department, developing all the series that would be relevant for the audience, for the team members and the audience. And lastly, we would be having the organizing and the marketing department that would be responsible if we get a speaker. So you need to organize everything, ranging from sending out links for the meeting and coordinating with the mentors, coordinating with the speakers, and ensuring that that particular session is a success. So I think I summarized these 5 or 6 sessions, 5 or 6 departments. And to re-clarify, if you are choosing 2-3 departments, it's not like you're working in this society. It's not like you're working only in that specific department. We think that every person should be working across the department so that you get maximum benefit out of this. And you develop skills in all the things. Suppose if I'm choosing, say, partnerships and all, I would also be doing the technical and the content curation department, so that it actually helps us in the long run. So I think that is the end of the Q&A pod. So if you're a beginner and you're in a particular department. So question from Pankaj Jetwani. I think I think you are a fresher. Question is that, so if we are a beginner and still we are interested in that particular department, so how would we go about it? So guys, we understand that you are just out of school, and you might not have relevant experience working in these departments. So the checkbox that is there on the form, that is only for what your interest is, where your interest lies. If you choose marketing, if you choose say partnerships department, Then, as I said, you have a team of 30-35 people overall, 8 to 10 people from second years who have great experience and would be guiding you throughout. And for any department that you choose, you'll have a concrete team working over you, guiding you as to how the work is done, what the work is, how it is to be done, and how it is to be executed. So there's no specific work experience required according to the departments. You just can add some instances that you think would be relevant to all the areas that you are choosing. Vansh Singla is asking from where we can download the forms. Vansh, I think the other people also, you can see the form in the chat box. You can just copy that as of now if you're applying today only, and it will be broadcasted in your class groups and the orientation group that we created. So that's not an issue. I would suggest that if you're seeing the form in the chat box, you just copy that form and paste that in your like notes column, so that just in case you didn't receive the broadcast, you are good to apply. So I think okay. So Ananya Kumari has a question that can Dyal Singh evening college students be a part of this society? So uh, we are figuring that out. I would recommend you to drop me a personal message, and I'm putting my number on the chat box. If anyone also has any queries, you can get in touch with me. And specifically, Ananya, you can just drop me a message so that I have this question in my mind. So I think that is all for the orientation session. That marks the end of the orientation session. I hope you guys have an enriching session, and all the insights from the mentors would be the insights that we got would be of great relevance to you. And we definitely look forward to organize many such sessions, be it on resume building, be it on profile building, be it on how to go about case interviews, how do you actually start your preparation on that. Lastly, I would say that since the club is launched, since you have the consulting club, as I said in my part that during that time there was no club. So this is a right opportunity for you to start early, to start in your first and second year, so that you don't have the pressure at during your final year. So I would just say that if you think you have the skills and you think if you have the right motivation, do register on the forms. And we look forward to have you in the interviews, and we look forward to have you as a part of the team. Thank you, guys.